One of my subscribers told me that he had events that led him to have panic attacks, and he watched all of my videos and it helped him so much. So I want to address this issue here. If you just have had some events that led you to have panic attacks, then you can just revise that event in your own mind and become a completely different human being. I have told you in a lot of my videos that your brain cannot distinguish the imagined scenario, which is provided with all sorts of sensory vividness and an experience that you have in this three-dimensional world. Now, you just had an experience in this three-dimensional world and you just had a full-blown panic attack. You had heart palpitation, you had global sensation, you had breathing difficulties, you were sweating. Now what you can do is you just chant Om in order to put your brain to produce alpha waves and theta waves. These are very relaxing, coherent waves which naturally help you to imagine wonderful things and makes your brain very suggestible to your own imagination. When you chant Om for about 20 minutes, by the way, I have a video on how to chant Om correctly. It's a 20-minute video and you can chant along with me. What you can do is you revise that event again. You go back to that event again. Suppose you had a panic attack while you were giving a presentation in front of a large number of audience. Now imagine that you're again in front of that audience. You're speaking, but now your chest is rising. Instead of shrinking down, it's rising. Now your face is completely relaxed. Instead of becoming so frightened, it's relaxed. Imagine all of this in extreme detail. Imagine that your throat is now opening up in your imagination as you're delivering speech instead of your throat shrinking. Imagine that your heart is completely calm and it is sending energy of peace and relaxation all over your body. Imagine that a golden yellow light is radiating from your heart as you're delivering a speech in front of that large audience, and you are completely relaxed, and all of the audience is completely captured by how peaceful and how relaxed you are. And as you finish, as you complete your presentation, all the audience applaud you. One of the audience member comes to you and says, "Oh my God, you're so calm, you're so peaceful. How do you become so good at giving presentations? Please, I want to know." All these people are complimenting you on how amazing you are, on how peaceful and how relaxed you are. Now, if you provide the sensation of seeing, sensation of hearing, sensation of smelling, sensation of tasting, sensation of feeling, your imagination becomes very powerful. A 20th century spiritual leader named Neville Goddard said, "Imagination creates reality. But if your imagination is weak, it's not going to materialize into existence. So provide all the sensory vividness to that imagined act. Start to smell the perfume that is evaporating from your shirt and start to intake that aroma and feel the beautiful scent of your own clothes. Start to see the people who are so captured by your amazing speech. Start to feel a lot of powerful emotions by completely immersing yourself into that imaginary act." Now, when you imagine, don't imagine as if you're watching some movie. You have to place yourself in the first person in that imagined scenario. You have to act as if you are the main character in that imagined scenario. You have to see everything, you have to hear everything, you have to smell everything, you have to touch everything. And when you completely immerse yourself into that imaginary act, then your brain starts to create neural networks that reflect like that imagined scenario just happened to you. Now, your job is to mentally rehearse this imaginary scenario over and over and over again. What happens is when you mentally rehearse this mental movie, your brain, your neural networks start to become hard and set, and it is going to send a rush of chemicals down your body. Now, those chemicals are going to evoke feelings. Those feelings are going to be equivalent to what you just imagined, because you have imagined wonderful scenario for you, because in your imagination, you were the man that you want to become, and you were doing everything that you desired to do, now suddenly you're going to feel a lot of elevated emotions of joy, gratitude, empowerment. Now, if you can properly pay attention to your imaginary scenario for an extended period of time, you're going to feel those emotions for an extended period of time. And when you can sustain these elevated emotions, these emotions are going to breathe life into your imaginary scenario. Now, whatever you imagined must happen to you. Now, you are going to be that person. When the next type of situation is going to occur in your life, now when another opportunity of you having to give a presentation, suddenly you're now the confident person. Suddenly you don't have panic attacks anymore. Also, your feelings are really important in changing your genetics. You are not the victim of your genetics, you're not the victim of your environment. If you can feel the elevated emotions of joy, gratitude, and empowerment, you can turn off the genes that are responsible for bad mental health and panic attacks and turn on the genes that are responsible for good mental health. This is the reason why Neville Goddard used to say that imagination creates reality. If you just imagine properly, you can change your life. You have to understand that the universe is immaterial. It is spiritual and it is mental. This is the reason why ancient yogis used to say that this physical world that you can perceive through your five senses is just an illusion, is a Maya. Maya means illusion. This is why they meditated for so long in order to upgrade their state of consciousness, in order to change their mind, because they understood that if they were able to change their mind, they can change their body, they can change their physical reality, they can change the circumstances and events that happen to them. Please do these three simple steps, please, and you can completely heal your panic attacks. You don't have to spend countless amount of hours in your therapy sessions, countless amount of dollars buying anxiety medications. You can just do these three simple steps as you're about to fall asleep, and if you properly land your feelings on your subconscious mind, then overnight change will happen. You will be completely healed of your panic attacks after you wake up in the morning. But right now, a lot of people have an attention span of a goldfish because we are bombarded with TikToks, we are bombarded with Instagram reels, YouTube shorts, all the varieties of instant gratifications, porn, just bad drugs and alcohols. So you have to show up every day. And if you do this three-step chanting of Om, relaxation, and imagination and feeling of the imagination, then you will lengthen your attention span. You'll be able to sustain the elevated emotions, and everything you imagine must come to life. Now, I have made a ton of videos on how to overcome your panic attacks, but if you still feel like you cannot do it alone, then message me on my Gmail, my Viber, my Telegram, or my WhatsApp, and then we can get started right away. You have to remember that the sky is the limit if you truly know how to imagine correctly and feel the emotions of your desired imagination correctly. Subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.